Just let me know if when we're live, please. Who? That's what I kind of like when I said, "Oh my gosh," I overheard a piece, but maybe I misunderstood. It sounded like there's a victim under the car as well. But I'm hoping I misunderstood it. If we were here by ourselves, I would totally say let's try to peek through that hole, because these guys, we're going to lose our spot, because if they pull this guy out or even use the chains to do what they are talking about, then see where they're coming out right now in the shot? That's what we need to see. So I think we should just wait. Just wait. Yeah. 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 He's frustrated. I'm sure he's frustrated, but yeah, tough luck, man. I'm sure they wouldn't have moved for us. You know what I mean? So it's just the, nature of the game. Right. Oh, thank you for that. Hey, if anybody's just tuning in and watching this on our live stream right now, if this is on Facebook, I will try to join you in a few moments when I have a free hand to actually scroll and look. But where we are right now, City of Palms, this is a vehicle. It's not a structure fire. I mean, it is a structure fire, but it's not. This is a car into a structure, then caught fire inside the house. Let me get you some ideas of what was going on out here. We're actually going to be at Westgate and Brookhaven, I believe, is the cross, and Brookhaven basically tees into Westgate. So you can see right there, but that car did not stop, went through those shrubs and directly in through the front of that house, making its way almost out the back. You can see some bowing there on the side of the wall of the house, so that car almost went out the side of this building. They do have a person inside that car still. The driver's still trapped. They cannot get that person out safely. Again, we don't know the condition of that driver inside that vehicle right now. They're still calling him a patient. So that indicates that, this might be somebody that is still alive and needs medical help, but they are unable to get to that person right now. I've got a lot of chatter in my ear with these firefighters talking inside that building and outside and how they're going to get that car out. Now, if there was anybody home, is there another injury in there? Well, we're working on that as well. We're trying to pass along the information as quick as we get it. But basically what's happening out here is a structure fire. This is in the Palms area, and it's a vehicle that went straight into a house, almost came out the other side. Driver's still trapped. That car did catch fire inside that house. That created this house fire out here. LA City Fire Department, they're out here in droves. They're actually asking for a USAR rig. And there is talk that they might actually have to pull that car out to at least move it from where it's at to get to that victim. Right now, though, the firefighters pretty much, a lot of smoke still here, but they're understanding that, I'm listening, is that the fire pretty much out. That's just a lot of smoke right now. And some of these firefighters are actually talking about how they can see through that hole. They can see straight down and actually see that vehicle. Once that smoke clears, we'll definitely give that a shot with SkyFOX. Right now, though, we're hoping and waiting to see a victim come out of that house. How they're going to do it, that is the big question. You can see right there, that's going to be heavy rescue. That's what they're going to use to pull that car out of there. That's an amazing machine, by the way. Huge fan of LA City Fire, but even more so of their equipment and I call them their toys, but these are definitely no toys. Most everything they use is life-saving and also property-saving equipment. That thing right there, amazing. It looks like a big giant tow truck, but it does so much more than just being a tow truck. They're going to use some of their high-tech tools, and they're probably going to run a cable through that house or through that hole that car made and try to hook it up to that car and then pull it out safely. Believe me, these firefighters already have been talking about structural integrity. That house, older home. That car basically went through that front. That looks pretty stable, pretty secure. But that sidewall bowing out like that, every now and then the smoke kind of clears. These firefighters, they know about this stuff. They understand how these homes are built. They understand how that structure is being held up. And they are concerned, and they are making sure that the firefighters are safe as well. Right now, though, there is a person still trapped inside of that car that crashed into this home, and they need to get that person out of that car and out of that home. And hopefully this person is still going to be in need of medical aid and be able to be rescued. They've been using the word patient, so that's a huge plus. As long as they're using the word patient, that is a possibility, or a good possibility, that person's still alive. Now, is there anybody else inside the house? Was there somebody that was maybe in that front room, or maybe even one of the back rooms when this car came barreling through? That is still a big question mark. Of course, these firefighters are going to double check and recheck. I did hear some talk. This is unofficial right now, and I might have misunderstood them. Maybe that car made its way, maybe the floor gave out, because I heard them say something about under the floorboards. So we're going to wait and see. I'm going to wait for confirmation before we start passing along any other information about another victim. But right now, that car's still inside. The driver's still inside that car. And firefighters are going to be working to get that car and victim out of this house. Mary, if you could you send me a link to that YouTube, because I think there's a way that there's people that could write comments on that, and maybe I could answer some of the questions that people are asking. I think, is that a piece of the car? No, it's a sofa, Stu. That's a sofa. That doesn't go in the car. So back to that heavy rescue. That's what it's called. Some people call these boom trucks. That's from the generation that I'm from, and that boom right there is a reference to the crane. That crane part, they just rotated that around so that they can pull those cables out and try to hook a chain to that car and then basically pull that car back out through the hole it came into. I heard them talking about those floorboards again, so I'm not sure if there is a possibility of another victim in there, or if the vehicle's weight, because these older homes, they're not built on a slab. These homes are actually elevated. There's like a space underneath these homes. Some people are like, they don't understand the differences, or they're just like, oh, that's how my house is, and it doesn't understand that other people have homes that are actually built on not on a foundation, but basically on a slab. The vehicle might have made its way up into that house and then fell through those floorboards as it made its way to the back here. That might be hopefully, that's what they're talking about. Right now, though, LA City firefighters, they're working on that fire. They're working to get that car out and, of course, to get that driver out of that vehicle. Hopefully this is going to be a rescue and not a body recovery. Cables are already in, so they're going to start doing this pretty quick. I wonder if they switched to TAC 10 for them. Yes, I do. They are a safe distance away. They're about the same distance as 7, but more at the 7 o'clock instead of the 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. While the firefighters are doing this, if you're just joining us now, this is a rescue, a house fire, a car into a home. Then that car catches fire. This is going to be in the Palms area. We're going to be on Walgrove with the cross of Preston. While they're doing that, I'll give you guys a quick wide view and an explanation of what we believe happened out here. That vehicle most likely traveling on this road right here. We believe this one to be Preston, and basically did not know, was going too fast. I'm not sure, or unaware, basically went right through that T intersection, through those shrubs, and directly into this home. Then that car basically crashing into a sidewall that you see right there, almost coming out the side, and then catching fire. That driver still trapped inside that car. The LA City Fire Department arriving here on scene, they were aware of the vehicle into a structure call. When they got here, they were not shocked to see that there was an actual fire. They got into their offensive mode very quickly, making an attack on that fire, trying to see what they could do for the driver of that vehicle. They couldn't get to the car. That was the big problem. We heard them talking about it earlier on more and more. They were saying that they just cannot make access to the vehicle. Heavy rescue made its way out here. That's that giant tow truck that you see right there. They moved some of the fire trucks out of the way, and now they're pulling lines into that home to basically pull that car out, at least move it inside that house so that they can get to the driver. They are calling that driver a victim, so that means that this might still be a rescue and not a body recovery. We are all very hopeful, but there was a lot of fire here when we first arrived. And then there's the question, was there anybody home? Is there a second victim? We're going to find out all these answers as soon as we see or hear through LA City Fire Department. Right now, though, the fire seems to be out. Now getting to that, rescuing that driver is the next step. They are well aware of the structural integrity. The damage to the side of that house right there is something that the fire department has been talking about to their own guys. And a lot of these firefighters have been talking about how they can actually see that vehicle through some of these access holes. I can make an effort, but I don't want to miss them trying to pull that thing out. So we're kind of bouncing back and forth on what we can do right here, and we're waiting to see if that victim is, hopefully that victim's still alive, and how they're going to get that person out of that vehicle. Right now, though, this seems like that fire, like you can see right here, fire seems to be less and less, which is huge. This is the first part that they had to deal with, and then it's all that damage and all that destruction inside that house. They're unable to make access to that vehicle. I did hear a firefighter say early on when we were making our way here on one of the TAC channels that he was at the front of the vehicle, but was unable to get to the actual cabin itself. So right now they're using a heavy rescue. They're going to set up these lines right here. I'm waiting to see those lines get taut, and then we'll probably see these firefighters make their way out as they're going to try to pull this car back through the hole that it made when it drove into this house here in the Palms area. Colby, you're getting a little top heavy on this. One of the amazing things that this vehicle, or this tow truck, the heavy rescue, has is the ability to run these cables or run the winches remotely. And so that the actual guy that is working the actual winch, the firefighter, could actually be inside that building with the remote, and then basically start pulling, getting that cable more and more taut as they try to pull this car out of this home. Again, they are aware of the possibility of the structure itself being compromised. They have been talking about that. But these guys and gals that work for LA City Fire Department, they know how structures are put together. They understand what is safe and what is not safe. So if these guys are still up on the roof, my guess is that that building's still structurally sound. And again, just waiting to see what happens here when they start moving that car, and we're going to get to see that happen here shortly. But again, it's all happening in the Palms area. Vehicle smashes through the front of this house, almost makes its way out the side of the house, and then catches fire. You know, one of the things that is on my mind, again, I can't read your comments, but I'm wondering if anybody else picked up on this, is the possibility that maybe that fire was from a gas line or electrical lines inside that home, and maybe the car didn't catch fire, maybe the house caught fire after that vehicle smashed into it. I'm actually seeing firefighters down there through the hole, so I'm going to make an effort here to see what we can see. But again, I'm not too hopeful that we're going to be able to see anything, but I'm going to give it a shot while we are waiting to see what they're going to be doing here. Yeah, you can just see the firefighters. We can't really see the car. Okay, they're going to pull the car out. I'm going to go back to... Boop. A little bit more, a little bit more. All right, here they go. They're going to pull it out. This is what I like about LA City Fire Department also. When they're on an incident, time is not on their side. It's not like an LAPD incident where a suspect is